The Weight of Perfection, a story of Vikram's struggles and freedom. Welcome to Rise and Shine, the place where powerful stories light up your heart and help you learn English with inspiration. Today, we bring you the story of Vikram, a 19-year-old boy whose life turned upside down in a single moment. When he lost his father, he wasn't just a teenager anymore. He was suddenly the protector, the provider, and the hope of his family. This is not just a tale of loss, but of carrying invisible weights, responsibilities, expectations, and a crushing chase for perfection. As you listen, think about this. Have you ever felt the pressure to be strong when you were breaking inside? Have you ever tried to be perfect for everyone else while silently losing yourself? Vikram's journey will speak to that feeling. Remember, every story we share is more than just words. It's a chance to grow, to learn new expressions in English, and to reflect on life's deeper lessons. Let's dive into the story. Part 1. When the Sky Fell. The monsoon clouds hung heavy over the small town where Vikram lived. He was only 19, a boy just stepping into adulthood, when tragedy knocked on his door. His father, his guide, his shelter, was taken away by a sudden illness. The hospital bills, the sleepless nights, the prayers whispered into the damp air. None of it could stop the inevitable. One evening, as the rains lashed against the hospital window, his father's breathing slowed and then stopped. In that moment, Vikram's world shattered. No longer was he just a student, a teenager with dreams and ambitions. Overnight, he became the man of the house, the sole provider for his widowed mother and younger sister. At the funeral, neighbors patted his back. "Be strong, Vikram. You're the head of the family now." Those words, meant as encouragement, felt like chains. They pressed into his shoulders, whispering, "You cannot fail. You must be perfect." Part 2. A life divided. Vikram wanted to continue his studies. He dreamed of becoming an engineer one day. But dreams did not put food on the table. So, he found a part-time job at a grocery shop near the bus stand. Every day, before sunrise, he tied his worn-out shoes and left home. His mother would hand him a small steel tiffin box, her eyes tired yet hopeful. His sister, still in her school uniform, would wave at him sleepily. At the shop, he carried sacks of rice heavier than his thin shoulders, stacked shelves until his hands burned, and smiled at customers even when his heart was elsewhere. His boss, Mr. Iyer, was strict. "Vikram, don't be slow. Customers don't like waiting," he barked. "Yes, sir," Arjun replied, swallowing his pride. By afternoon, with aching legs, he would rush to college. His classmates discussed weekend plans, cricket matches, and parties. Vikram had no such luxuries. He quietly slipped into class, often smelling of grain dust. Sometimes, exhaustion betrayed him. His eyelids drooped, his pen slipped, and a professor's voice cut through. "Vikram, if you can't focus, why are you even here?" The class would laugh, and Vikram's cheeks would burn, but he stayed silent. When the lectures ended, his responsibilities didn't. At home, his mother needed help with bills. His sister, Anika, needed help with her homework, and only then he could open his college books. By then, it was midnight. The words blurred. His head drooped, and he whispered to himself, "I must be perfect for them." Part 3. The cracks began to show. Weeks turned into months. Vikram lived on 4 hours of sleep, stale tea, and unspoken pressure. One day, he forgot to buy medicine for his mother. She didn't scold him, but the disappointment in her eyes pierced his heart. Another day, he missed his sister's school performance because his boss made him work late. She cried silently that night, and Vikram's guilt ate away at him. At college, he scored poorly in an exam. His professor said, "You have potential, Vikram, but you are wasting it." At work, a customer complained that he returned the wrong change. Mr. Iyer shouted at him in front of everyone, "Are you sleeping, boy? Do you even care about this job?" That night, Vikram sat alone on the terrace. The stars blurred through his tears. He clenched his fists and whispered, I'm trying so hard. But no matter what I do, it's never enough. I can't be perfect in everything." His heart was a battlefield, guilt, exhaustion, anger, and fear waged war inside him. Part 4. The Stranger in the Park. One evening, after another long day, Vikram sat in the park near his college. His books lay open, but he couldn't read. Tears spilled down his cheeks, unstoppable. A gentle voice interrupted his silence. "Young man, why do your eyes carry so much pain?" Vikram looked up. An older man, with kind eyes and a calm smile, sat beside him. He wore simple clothes, but carried an air of peace around him. Vikram tried to hide his tears. "I'm okay." The man shook his head. "No, you're not. Tell me." Something about the stranger's tone unlocked Vikram's heart. Words poured out about his father's death, his job, his studies, his mother, his sister, his guilt, his exhaustion. When he finished, he whispered, "I must be perfect in every role. If I fail as a son, my mother suffers. If I fail as a brother, my sister suffers. If I fail as a student, my future suffers. If I fail as a worker, my family starves. Tell me, how do I carry it all?" The man placed a hand on his shoulder. "Vikram, listen carefully. Perfection is a prison. Presence is freedom." Vikram frowned. "What do you mean?" The man pointed at the flowing river nearby. "Look at that river. Does it flow in a straight, perfect line? No. It bends, it slows, it sometimes overflows. Yet it still reaches the sea. Life is like that. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to keep flowing." Vikram's eyes widened. The man continued, "Your mother doesn't need a perfect son. She needs a son who loves her. Your sister doesn't need a perfect brother. She needs one who listens. Your college doesn't need a perfect student. They need one who learns. Your boss doesn't need a perfect worker. He needs an honest one. Stop carrying the world on your shoulders. Be present, not perfect." The man picked up a small stone from the ground and placed it on his palm. "See this stone? It is strong because it knows its limits. It doesn't try to be the whole mountain. You too must learn your limits. If you try to carry everything at once, you will break. But if you carry what you can, with love and balance, you will thrive." "But how do I balance everything?" he asked quietly. The man chuckled. "Start small. Instead of asking, 'How can I be perfect?' ask, 'How can I do my best today without losing myself?' Share responsibilities. Rest without guilt. Smile at your sister instead of trying to fix everything. That small smile will do more than a perfect project ever could." Vikram felt something shift inside him. His chest, so tight with burden, loosened a little. Part 5. Learning to breathe. The next day, Vikram tried something new. At work, when he made a small mistake, instead of hating himself, he calmly corrected it. At home, when he forgot a small chore, he laughed with his sister instead of drowning in guilt. At college, he accepted that he couldn't top every exam, but he could still improve step by step. Slowly, the heavy chains of perfection loosened. He still worked hard, still studied, still cared for his family. But now he did it with love, not fear. With presence, not pressure. Part 6. The man he became. Years passed. Vikram graduated, found a better job, and supported his sister's education. His mother often said proudly, "My son didn't just take responsibility, he brought peace back into our home." Vikram never saw the stranger in the park again, but the man's words became his guiding star. Whenever life felt heavy, he whispered to himself, "Perfection is a prison. Presence is freedom." And so, Vikram learned a truth many of us forget. Life is not about being perfect. It's about being present, being human, and carrying on with courage even when the weight feels unbearable. His strength was not in never failing, but in rising every time he fell. Whether you're a son or daughter, mother or father, brother or sister, student, worker, or dreamer, life will give you different roles to play. Each role comes with its own struggles and responsibilities. And yes, sometimes it feels overwhelming. But here is the truth. You do not have to be perfect in every role. You only have to be present. You only have to give your sincere effort and your heart. Perfection may impress for a moment, but presence creates bonds that last forever. So, if you're carrying the weight of many expectations, pause, breathe, and remind yourself, I don't need to be perfect. I just need to be real, sincere, and present. That is the victory. That is the freedom. That is what makes life meaningful. Thank you for staying with us through this journey. If Vikram's story touched you, inspired you, or helped you learn something new in English, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Rise and Shine, where every story brings light, hope, and learning. Until next time, keep rising, keep shining.